I miss her so.
The fake disorder trend of TikTok is evolving. Here's the thing. It's such an interesting. When it comes to these fake disorders, I'll watch it. It's short. It's 1337 length. Leap. The problem with these fake disorders, it's so interesting. I was talking to my wife yesterday, and I already brought this up before, but like I still think it's interesting to reinforce. But we've always been using exaggeratory language our entire lives, but we're now looking at it and identifying it on other people, and now we're like offended all of a sudden. But we've always been doing this. And it's wrong. We shouldn't be using it. But for instance, my wife before asked me if I think that all content creators are narcissistic. The term narcissistic just means basically, like, if you look into it, it's like, oh, you're self-absorbed, but it's also a medical diagnosis. So like now, instead of being a little self-absorbed, you're narcissistic. Back in the day, people, and even now, if you're stupid, you're not stupid. You're an R slur. You know what I mean? You use very exaggeratory language. So somebody might be able to identify with a thing, and then they take it and they sprint with it. Okay, right? Like so. For instance, like a girl, usually girls that like crystals, they'll be like, oh, like maybe they're a little bit more perceptive when it comes to feelings, but they're an empath. You see, I'm an empath. You see what I'm saying? They're insane. People are insane. And so what's happening nowadays is that you have a mixture of a couple different things. One of the things is that we have very antisocial society due to cell phone usage. And I know it's like a boomer take, and you're like, that's so stupid, Papa God. I grew up with cell phones. I don't identify a difference. Yeah, it's because you fucking grew up with it. Okay? You don't know what you're talking about. I had a flip phone until I was 20 years old. 21 maybe. Okay? And so what's happening is people are constantly having their attention directed at their phone, and every bit of your available free time is on the phone. People nowadays, while they're driving, will stop at a stoplight and they have to open up their phone. They have to check out what's going on. There's like a huge level of addiction when it comes to like social media viewership, and like people just can't not anymore. Like back in the day, people could just stare at the sun and their eyes would melt, but they didn't have to think about anything. Now your brain's constantly wired to constantly think and move. And what's happening is you're diagnosing this as autism or ADHD, and they're self-diagnosing it. And hell, you know what? Real diagnoses are also contributing to that as well. Because they're antisocial. That is a trait of like autism. It's also a trait of somebody who's spending their entire time on the internet, where they're not like as socialized. I know I'm not using antisocial in like the correct way, but you get what I'm saying. You know, this is one of those things, and I think a lot of it's contributing, especially to like ADHD traits, because I actually have ADHD, and so now we're like overdiagnosing things when the reality is that we have like an excessive cell phone usage, and on top of that, you have kids with like available information on the internet, where they can look up and be like, "What does this mean?" They can actually look it up. They can look up what everything means now. So they can look up the definitions of things on the internet. So then now what they're doing is they're like, oh, what they're saying is like, oh man, these traits, they'll look up ADHD. And they'll be like, look, the defining traits of ADHD, I have those too. Let's see. Signs of ADHD. So let's just look it up. Common signs of ADHD. Oh, shut up. That guy's ugly. Being unable to sit still, especially in calm or quiet surroundings. Well, that sounds like a lot of people now with their cell phone usage. Constantly fidgeting. Sounds like a lot of people now with their cell phone usage. Being unable to concentrate on tasks. Sounds like a lot of people on their cell phone usage. Excessive physical movement. Excessive talking. Sounds like women. You get my point? So you can self-diagnose these things, which to me, a lot of these things have to do with not being fully present in like in the real world and being very engaged online, right? Like even interrupting conversations, you know. And these are things that I do because I have ADHD, and I actually have it, like legitimately, right? But everybody can identify with these, and they're self-diagnosing. And now everybody has like a mental disorder in some capacity. Part of it, too, is that people don't have any of the identifying traits, but they want to because they want it to seem unique and quirky. Like, literally, people want to have a struggle. We live in a society now that is operating in a way where we are fighting oppression, which makes sense 100%. We should be reasonably fighting oppression. The problem is that for a lot of people, oppression is very fun and quirky, right? And there are people that have characteristics that they might be able to identify with an oppressed class that can't really identify with the oppressed class, but you can't really call them on it. So, for instance, there are gay people who Generally speaking, being gay means that you will be oppressed from a general perspective. But there are plenty of places in the United States, especially in first world areas, where if you're gay, you're not looked at any differently in any true capacity. But if somebody's gay, they'd be like, well, I'm gay. I'm part of an oppressed class. You see what I'm saying? And they'll like brag about how they're oppressed. You know, even when I was young, people were talking about like, oh, my mom's poor. For some reason, that was fucking cool to be fucking poor. They made fun of my mom because she made okay money. It was weird. Right. And so people are doing that when you're somebody who, and this is why, honestly, you're seeing the most of the people who do this shit, from what I've seen, are fucking white people. I'm not trying to be an asshole. It's usually white people because they can't identify with oppression. So now they're identifying, and I'm not saying everybody's dishonest, but like there's some people who are just identifying with being gay, even though they're not gay, or trans in some capacity, even though they're not trans, because it's a quirky personality trait, or they have ADHD, or they have all of them. Or they have dissociative identity disorder. They have all these different things because they're not interesting people. And I'm not saying everybody who identifies as non-binary or any of these things is doing this, but I'm saying that like you could see there is a massive uptick in people wanting to either identify with some form of oppression, or they want to be more interesting, or a mixture between the two. Okay? That's what's happening nowadays. That's where a lot of that's just generally where all this stuff is coming from. And the craziest thing is it's impossible. It's almost impossible to specifically identify because you don't live in that person's body. So I could look at somebody and be like, I know you're bullish, full of shit. But how do you prove it? You can't. You just can't do it. You just can't. You know? And that's where we live. That's where we're living here. That's the reality of the world that we live in today.
Much.
I know, honey, but if you give it a little time, I'm sure you'll get over her. Just like you got over your hamster dance Tourette syndrome.
Excuse me, Mom. Could you please pass it?
His brain ain't right, but it's fun.
Yes.
I feel like I still do that. I'll hear a song and then I start singing it a week later, every day for a month. You know what I mean? That's just something I do. I don't know what it is. You know, like when that like one last kiss and I'll be gone. I heard that song and then like a week later I couldn't stop singing it for like a month. My wife hates me. We're getting divorced. I'm just kidding. I love you.
Yes, the just get over it cure commonly found amongst the faker community when they're bored of their antics. Who knew Chris Griffin was the original Tourette's faker? Ticks and Roses who? Someone drop his TikTok at, because I think he's going to trend faster than you.
TikTok, you get it?
You can say cool
Hey,
whip.
Dad, that's a cool whip. Ah, I thought you couldn't understand me.
That's funny. You know what's so interesting, and this is just from my personal perspective, it's like I don't usually talk about like issues I have. Like I have ADHD, I have Tourette's, you know, all that nonsense bullshit. And I talk about it a little more now, specifically when when it's relevant. But like I was taught to like not use these things as an excuse. And I know it's so weird, but nowadays, like I feel like people who actually have Tourette's or ADHD, they don't talk about it in a quirky way. It sucks to have Tourette's. Like, and now I'm thinking about it, so like it gets a little worse. But when you start thinking about it more, and sometimes you get locked in like these really bad tic attacks. Mine aren't like horrible comparatively to anybody else. I don't have verbal tics. I have like, you know, I guess I have like facial tics and stuff. Which is what I do have. It's not that I guess. Well, I also have tics for like, you know, whatever. I'm getting a little compulsive now. Either way, sometimes I'll get locked in like one of the really bad ones for me is like head shaking. And it's so weird that people like brag about it though. Why would you want to brag about it? I feel like the way that you should operate when you have any type of, I would call it incongruence, is that you should do your best. Did I get Lyme's disease from all those tics? Very funny. Is you should just do your best to like hide it. Not necessarily hide it, but like do your best to like struggle in silence until you need help. And don't use it as an excuse for like your bad behavior. Like I have ADHD, but I don't go, oh, sorry, I have ADHD. That's why I did this. Like that's pathetic. You know, everybody has a struggle. Deal with your shit yourself. And if you need help, like get help. Absolutely. But not everybody needs to know all your struggle. You know what I mean? I feel like we're losing that mentality, at least on the fucking internet. Because if I saw my kid on the internet being like, oh my God, I have Tourette's. I'm so quirky. I tell her or him to shut the fuck up. I say, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. God damn it. If you need help, we'll go to a therapist. What are you going on fucking TikTok for? You are embarrassing yourself, and when you get older, you're going to feel more embarrassed. This is online forever. Thank God I'm 32. This shit didn't happen to me when I was young. We didn't have the ability to put things on the internet forever. And if we did, I just didn't understand it. Right? Like I told you when I was 20, I thought Scarlett Takes a Tumble was actually a friend of my girlfriend at the time. But, you know. Yeah, stop trauma dumping online. It's going to contribute to your trauma later on. I'm just telling you, man. For your own sake. I'm just says.
Hey, Girl Scout, what's shakin'? How have you been?
I'm really upset about this whole Girl Scout thing. I take it personally. I'm a fucking Eagle Scout. I'm a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout and I'm an Order of the Arrow Brotherhood member. I'm a fucking total nerd, okay? What bothers me is that Girl Scouts get so much more money with those fucking cookies. Overrepresented Girl Scouts, underrepresented Boy Scouts. Fight the power. You know what Boy Scouts sell? Girl Scouts sell cookies. You know what Boy Scouts sell? Somebody guess. You don't really know. We would sell popcorn and nuts. What the fuck do you do with that? What are you going to make a popcorn and nuts flavored cereal? Or ice cream? The fuck?
I personally have been pretty ill. And I'm really sorry for my lack of uploads.
Man, you fell off.
But I'm back on it now, ready to give you all the content you've been patiently waiting for. Now, while I was ill and offline, those pretending to be mentally ill on the internet for attention were
I'm the chick that self-diagnosed with autism.
still
Nice.
very much active and continuing their shenanigans. It's been a bit of a time since we covered fake disorder cringe stuff directly, and things have
It is $20 popcorn. You're right. It's fucking crazy. I still pay for it because it's, I gotta support my brothers. But
shifted. I've noticed that in the last few months, DID just wasn't enough, and now everyone is trying to find the next big thing to make TikToks on. And God, are they getting creative. I thought we could check out what's been happening and see what direction the fakers have decided to take as of lately. Sure, it might feel like we're running at a brick wall with this,
are you gonna go with like non-binary? What is it?
but I think you'll be shocked at the state of it all and how deep it's gone. So let's just cut the chit chat and show you what I mean. Let's just jump right into things.
Damn, I'm so disconnected. Getting fun to know myself as a person with forced amnesia. Incredible. Scrambled eggs is the only meal I know how to make. Can't remember which way to cut an onion. What? Fell in love with Johnny Depp all over again. What? Apparently I was growing something. What the fuck's happening here? Okay. Wait, forced amnesia. When we try to forget... So you said forced amnesia, right? When we try to forget something unpleasant, whether a bad argument or a traumatic event, we may be unintentionally including amnesia of unrelated memories. Oh, we may unintentionally... We may be unintentionally inducing amnesia of unrelated memories. So when you forcefully try to forget a traumatic event, but other associated memories that you wouldn't normally associate with that also get lost. What the fuck are you talking about? How would you even know you have fucking there's no way that it would manifest by you completely forgetting everything. You forgot your family? Holy shit. What the fuck? So what did they how would they even know they had amnesia? I feel like they would forget something. Bro, what the fuck? This is the danger sometimes of going to a therapist, and they can unlock memories from you. But those, if you have forced, I'm assuming this is more common in children. Let's say you had like a forced amnesia thing where like you try to forget, like you had a really traumatic experience, and then this is what happens in therapy. Like you explore your feelings, and all of a sudden, if other memories that weren't necessarily associated with that are also lost, if you remember those associated memories, I can imagine that the traumatic memory comes back, and all of a sudden you go to therapy and you unlock a traumatic experience you had when you were a fucking kid. How fucked up is that? Holy shit. That's terrible. That's fucking horrible.
Amnesia. Meaning, I forget everything like my cats and how to cut an onion, but of course I remember how to record and upload TikToks to capitalize on my fake disorder. What would the point of faking be if I couldn't even get any attention?
You're probably not making a lot of money. TikTok doesn't pay very well.
For it. Fitting that they picked
Yeah, just forget you have amnesia, idiot.
amnesia as the thing to fake, because like the 2010 hit game, I too feel like this is all leading me
Among
down a
Us?
descent.
Is that what you're talking
Wishing
about?
I could willingly forget what's happening around me and slowly losing sanity with every unbelievably scary being I encounter.
So honestly, it happens as you get older, so you're in luck. It goes away.
Someone get me some laudanum, because I am physically pained from the TikTok fake disorder trend.
That scared me.
Faking amnesia sounds like something a kid who's watched too many doctor drama shows does one day when they're bored. And once their family ignores their—
See, this is what happens when this is the outcome of not letting parents hit their kids. Okay. All right. This is the problem. Now I know child abuse is bad, and like we had a lot of problems with like PTSD, and it was really toxic. But look at these goddamn kids now. She said that she had forced amnesia. Bitch, how the fuck would you even know that? Oh, sorry. You know that. I'm just saying, bro. We also don't know if it's actually a girl because that person might be non-binary. I don't know.
their antics,
I'm trying to be rude. I'm just saying.
they give up and say, gotcha. Except this is on the internet forever, and the plea for sympathy shows that they're committed to following through. I don't understand why you would post something like this on the internet for every random person to know. If you can't remember your family as this person claims, you probably wouldn't want to throw that out there on a platform crawling with degenerates who take advantage of people at their lowest, right? Surely in such a scary, vulnerable time where you can't remember certain aspects of your life, you'd want to be careful and—
Hey, I'm your mom or your dad.
Also probably focused on getting help for your memory and not posting social media content? But no. A second of internet infamy truly trumps safety, I suppose.
Well, also, the parents would probably be more protective of their kid that has, like, fucking forced amnesia. So you're just slumping every time the camera's on? I record episodes if I know they're coming on to best show my doctors what I'm going through on a daily basis. Whoa, that's what happens when I fart? That's what happens to my wife when I fart, because it smells so bad. All I ask is that you please use at least one brain cell before speaking to me. You know, honestly, it looks like she's wearing a corset, so if this is real, if she's actually passing out, it's probably because she has a lack of oxygen going to her brain. So, I've solved the problem. What is she saying that she has? I told it. Look, it's fucking, bro. Blonde white woman. I mean, you have no struggle in life. Of course, you're going to do this. What is happening here? The attacks look different for everyone, especially when there are other medical diagnoses at play. Diagnoses. Have a good day. Who's this person that's here? Wait. How did that end there? Somebody... Why is she laughing? Oh, it sounds like she's clearly joking, maybe? Or she's an idiot, and...
Tired of faking DID? Well, perhaps you've been sleeping on another condition. Introducing narcolepsy. Here, ladies and gentlemen, we have a scientific spectacle with this very condition. This gal has defied the laws of physics.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Her limp,
Incredible.
totally not faking, passed-out body that was leaning forward was able to gracefully change course and fall backwards instead of following her center of gravity and whacking her face right onto the camera. Lucky girl.
That
In
makes
any
sense.
normal situation, she would have fallen forwards, but she's an absolute miracle. And to wake up after an attack and immediately be able to spot the camera recording a TikTok and give them face instead of feeling disoriented? Superhuman supermodel. Use one brain cell when talking to you? Girl, maybe use a brain cell yourself before recording something so blatantly performative and uploading it online to be permanently associated with you for the rest of your life. If someone thinks you're faking because you turn the camera on and slump over, I really don't think turning the camera on and slumping over is going to change their mind. So I don't really see the point in doing this and giving them more content to point out the inconsistencies. Naively thinking they'll stop calling you out in your dream.
I'm reading into it, and they say that it's sudden, so that would make sense that they wouldn't know it. But then it also says that you get sleepy because when you have a narcoleptic attack, you fall asleep. I'm just looking at it in a way where I'm trying to identify like what is and isn't genuine. But there's a lot of different things that are associated with narcolepsy. Holy shit.
Dreams, maybe. As for recording in the car, I personally think this is extremely irresponsible, and since you can't tell if she's in the driver's seat or not, I also think it can open the door for a lot of misinformation. Let's clear up some information real quick.
It also means she probably wouldn't be allowed to actually drive a car.
The different severities of narcolepsy and cataplexy and how often people get attacks, you are allowed to drive in certain instances and locations.
What? Personally, I wouldn't allow it.
But the DMV will be very careful when okaying that. If your attacks are that bad and you have enough of them to be able to record on a daily basis, you should not be driving because that is extremely dangerous.
We probably wouldn't be allowed to drive.
And anyone sane would not give her a license. Imagine someone who knew her called her out and the DMV had to get involved. Then she has to tell the DMV she's actually faking it for attention online and can drive perfectly fine, or commit to never driving again if the clout was that important. That would be pretty yikes. I wonder which one she would pick. My guess is she would just say that she was faking. What about you guys? Let me know down below.
Dementia and hoarding. What?
It's just not even that bad. I can forget a couple of things.
Oh my goodness, I have to make the decision again because I don't remember making it. That would be the next thing that you would do.
Let's do this.
Guess what today is?
Tuesday. I need to go, Mum.
It's my birthday. How could you forget your own mother's birthday?
Well, I imagine that the mom would know that you have dementia. What I will say though is like hoarding is usually it's like hoarding isn't. I don't even know. Hoarding isn't okay. Is hoarding an actual diagnosed disorder? Is a mental illness? Because my understanding of hoarding, it is a disorder. Okay. Hoarding disorder is a mental health problem that a doctor can diagnose. But the thing is that like hoarding is it's a result of having of like some kind of like PTSD in some capacity, I think. Like you have some kind of an issue associated with it. Like that's the thing. It's like when you have a wound, you might have like a gash in your arm, but like what caused the gash? So like the gash would be hoarding, but like the knife would be possibly something terrible and traumatic in your life. But okay.
What? I'm so sorry.
There's a lot of white blonde, what you would consider traditionally attractive girls in faking disorders. I'm just saying, guys.
I forgot.
Whatever, get out of my house. I'm so disappointed in you.
2019 is. Oh, for God's sake, I can't concentrate. I'm never going to pass maths. So.
You're not gonna pass English either if you're gonna say maths, you fucking idiot.
8.20.
So what's that? £8.20 here.
That's only £3.60.
Oh, my mistake.
Wait, how the fuck do pounds work? How do you give $3.60 or 3.6 pounds if it's all paper? Don't you use like do fucking English people not use coins? Is this even dementia? How does dementia work? I just don't understand. Like with these kids, a chronic or persistent disorder of mental health process caused by a brain disease or injury that marked by memory disorders, personality changes, and impaired reasoning. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Take this.
And then Jake told me he loved me, and then he broke up with me.
Cool.
Did you say cool?
That's what I would say. Cool.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean right.
Well, in her defense, I mean, this is the same voice as her mother. So why the fuck is her mom bitching about her breaking up with some guy? Like, you're a loser.
Whatever, loser. Bye.
Ooh woo. Dementia's when you forget birthdays and can't focus or count change properly.
True.
Guess when I don't get enough sleep, I've suddenly got dementia too. Your mom says she's disappointed in you for forgetting her birthday in that little skit, but I'd like to believe it's because you're role-playing as an extremely heartbreaking and complicated disorder after Googling the basic symptoms of it. The comments are full of kids thinking that they have dementia based on the things she's acting out. I can't believe I even have to say this, but dementia is so much more than forgetting things a few times.
Are you playing the same level again? You gotta at least change the goddamn level. Come on, bro.
It involves neurons literally dying and losing connections to other cells, meaning you lose the ability to make those connections. People who were once able to do brilliant things don't even remember how to do basic care, and they forget the faces of those they love most. It is a massive strain on families, and it isn't cute and silly. This is not raising awareness.
Personally, if I had a young blonde daughter with dementia, throw her in the garbage. Throw her out. You're young and you're already this fucked up. I'm over it. Get out of here. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna tolerate this nonsense.
This is making light of the disorder by acting out vague symptoms that can overlap with other disorders or something as simple as being tired.
When you fall and can't get up, so you end up passing out from pain and waking up 45 minutes later. Whoa. The camera's in a really good space to fall. So is this where you put your cameras in your house? Personally, because like I personally would buy cameras to put around my house in like high vantage points, not in front of my face, because you'd have to like, unless she has 8,000 cameras in the house, it's awfully convenient that you pass out in front of a camera. Also, it's your iPhone, it's your phone, so you probably didn't even pass out. But like, I wouldn't put it here. I would put it like up here on the walls. No. Yeah, I hate it when my phone falls right in front of my face and starts recording, and I fall in front of it. What's going on? Oh, there's dogs. You're giving it's a migraine, not a headache. You're giving me a fucking migraine. Oh, those are These are her kids. It looks like her kids are running around her like a fucking bunch of animals. Get up and take care of your goddamn kids. Where's the husband? I would have screamed at you if I walked in. Or the wife. I don't know. Is it kids or is it cats? I don't fucking know.
Ah, yeah. This one is very relatable.
Probably why she's single, honestly.
I know the first thing I do when I feel a migraine coming on is wait till I'm about to pass out, start to fall down, quickly open up TikTok as I begin my descent down, press record, and then fall perfectly so that my phone is upright and recording me, every time. With how rapid her eyes are moving, she must be deep into a dream where she got millions of likes for sharing this awesome TikTok and raising awareness for migraines by depicting arguably the most nonsensical migraine coping ever. Nothing like curing one by lying flat on a hard floor in a room full of light, sunshine, and dogs crawling over you. As a migraine sufferer descending from a long line of migraine sufferers with aura, I can tell you that bright light is often so painful that if you're not in a pitch black room with an eye mask and blankets covering you, it's excruciating even with your eyes closed. And if you're really, really lucky, you get the fun migraines with nausea and throwing up, or both.
Personally, I wouldn't have it. That's why I don't have it. So I just decided not to have migraines. Yeah, cope.
I get that migraines are not one size fits all, and maybe she doesn't need a pitch black room or a puke bucket by her side. But to set up a camera perfectly capturing your face and claiming you passed out is a really cringe lie, because obviously that's not how you pass out. And I'm sure anyone with a migraine can agree that recording a TikTok is the last thing they think of doing in the moment. I mean, you could tell me my favorite actors were giving out millions of dollars outside during one and I wouldn't care. And not to nitpick, but typically your eyes only move in REM sleep, which typically begins about 90 minutes into sleep. She said she's only out for 45 minutes. So this is just making even
Personally, so this isn't, it's interesting because the way that this person that made this video here, Retro Phant0m, they're like, oh, I'm going to contest you with facts and logic to see that if you have a real migraine. Like, for instance, you're not going to pick up your phone because the light on the phone will probably hurt your eyes. I would just, if it was me, I would scream at them and see what they were to respond. If they're like, oh, I'm having a migraine, and I would just go, ah! And then I would sort of see in person what's going on. And like, if they have a real migraine, me screaming at them would make them really upset. It would make them upset even if they didn't have a migraine. But I imagine I would scream so much they would get mad and get up and try to hit me. And I'd be like, see, you're faking it. I'm sorry. I tried to move my mic away from me while I screamed. Sorry, guys.
even more inconsistency in her claims. I really don't see the point in making this. Honestly, my head hurts from watching all these people.
All right, find a guy now who does it, because you've shown all women, you know?
I can't believe people are so tired of faking a disorder that's now considered trendy, that they're looking to fake something new and exciting so that they can be different. What happens when the big migraine trend of 2022 is up? Are we going to move on to something edgy and avant-garde like hepatitis? What about the new monkeypox hitting headlines? Or are those not cute enough to record? I wish these people would understand that they are so much more than a disorder and they don't have to make it their whole identity. Or that they have so much to offer and they don't need attention from making themselves a victim of something that they don't even have. People with disorders more often than not do not want to be victims. They don't want to post things about it unless it's to spread info combating misinformation and normalizing their conditions. They want access to coping mechanisms that make them live a more normal life. They want people to see past the disorders and see them, their hobbies, their interests, their personalities, not just as person with X disorder. Fake disorder TikTok is completely turning this backwards and making things so much worse for the people who want these things. It's telling everyone that they actually just want to be seen for their disorders and nothing more. It's this obsession with being unique that ironically makes them just like everyone else following the trend. It's not unique when everyone else is also trying to get clout from faking too, isn't it? It's okay to experiment with clothes and hobbies, and if you don't like them, you can safely move on without repercussion. Just make sure your mom doesn't take any pics of you wearing Galaxy leggings, because trust me, it is just a phase. I hate to sound like an old boomer, but these TikToks will be around for a long time.
What the fuck are Galaxy
Even
leggings?
if you scrub your profiles after growing out of this faking trend, you never truly will be off the hook. I find a lot of these on Reddit.
Oh, they're just oh man, what a shame.
Posted by someone who screen recorded the video themselves. So even if it's deleted from your page, it's still up online somewhere. And not being informed properly on the disorder you're faking because of the amount of misinformation these TikToks spread means not knowing what the consequences you'll have from claiming to have these disorders are. Some disorders mean you can't drive, some mean you can't adopt children. And your online profiles are judged when people are looking to hire you for jobs, like it or not. I mean, the sacrifice for some likes on social media isn't worth the hassle and embarrassment of having to show that you actually don't have the disorder. And it does hurt other people. I really wish this trend would stop, but it only seems to be evolving. I only hope I'm not screaming into a void and we can convince people to stop contributing to the stigmatization of disorders and underselling themselves as people. But I don't know. I think that's all I can take for today. Let me know what you guys think down below. And if you want this message pushed on to others, the algorithm really listens when people like, subscribe, comment, leave a super thanks, and engage. We can talk more about this on my Discord too, so be sure to join me there. I apologize for my half-gone voice and can assure you I'll be—
All right, cool. Interesting, good video. I liked it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.